Welcome back. So today we're just going to be covering a new system. I was thinking about what I wanted to cover, and I was like spending ages thinking, okay, what do I want to cover today? Because there's quite a bit I could cover, and I was like, I could cover doing nerve mesh, I could cover doing a bunch of things, you know, making the AI pathfinding a bit better. It's pretty good so far, and I think I'm going to leave it as is. I think I will change it eventually if I feel like I do, but I don't want to kind of do everything for people. I still feel that you still need to learn how to code so you can do other things. I don't know what this was meant to be. What is it in that? Something. I think it was like the old character script. Oh gosh. So you still gotta learn how you do things. So that's still a key aspect of this game. So that's going to be what we're going to soon focus on, is I'll put in a few characters, do a few things like that, maybe even get a few friends to play it like a 1v1 or something like that, and just show you the kind of game in multiplayer action. But past that, I don't really want to do too much, but I don't know, this is a fun series though. It's kind of getting to the point where I feel like it has to end soon, because it's getting a little messy, obviously, because, it's not really, I mean, a lot of scripts are pretty good and stuff, but it's basically getting to the point where it's being ending, right? It's pretty close to being ended. So I don't really want to spend ages, like 4 episodes, trying to make optimized scripts, and really I feel like that's not really the essence of this channel. Though I still may do nerve mesh, because that's fun. But yeah, today we're going to work on clicking things, so we can make things clickable and stuff like that. We could also work on health bars, but well, kind of boring. So we're just going to work on clicking things. So we can click something and something happens. Duh. So here's our move to space script. This is basically what happens. We have some monster moves, which we will probably set up eventually. These, and by the way, monster moves are kind of cool. You just add a bunch of waypoints. So these are our destinations, and this works for the destinations so it can make the best path it can. And if it's deleted, then it will call this regardless. So when we move to space, that's right click. So if we left click someone, we would conclude that what's interesting, because in League and Dota 2, if you right click someone, you attack them, right? If you left click, you get data from them, how much HP and stuff, right? So in this, we will kind of want to continue in that same kind of field. And we want to kind of do the same idea of getting data or whatever from them, but how much we're getting from them is interesting. Whether or not we want to just go, so we're not over a game object that's UI, but we do want to check. We do want to split this up to see whether or not our object that we still do want to do the raycast, right? Just whether or not the tag attached to it is, I don't know, it's interesting. Because if it's selectable, I understand. So what we're going to do is we're going to go if the hit.get component .game transform.get component selectable okay. We need a new script called selectable. Does not equal no. So if the object is selectable, so we'll just do a little bit of this. If the object is selectable, then all we really want to do is we just want to select it. So that's quite easy, quite simple. We're going to open up our selectable script. Now there's a few different actions in this, because There's a few ways we can actually approach this, because we could approach it from an inheritance standpoint, in which that certain things have different actions associated with them. So you're a child of this selectable script, and all you do is just share a common function that we call, and then that can do different things. That is easily possible, and easily adds a little bit more flexibility, but it also adds a little bit more complexity to it. So I've been working quite a bit with other scripts, and there's going to be an episode a bit later in which I will cover a script I've been writing in Unity for a game I've been doing, and there's quite a few scripts there, and I'm going to do it in Unreal Engine 4 too, and see which one I like better, because Unreal Engine 4 would obviously look better. I've been doing a bit of stuff like that. That's not going to be anything that goes on YouTube. It'll be a few previews, but nothing more than that. It's just a game I'm building. It's quite cool. It's kind of like almost like what XCOM should have been. It's a little different. Something a little funner. I've quite liked. So, guys, there's a few ways we can do this. I just don't know how we want to approach this. This is the most difficult part of this, is how you want to approach it, because if we approach it from the inheritance point, it's quite complex, right? And it means there's quite an open area for bugs, such as, you have a unit, you go attack that unit, right? So that requires a lot of complexity between the actual sender and the receiver, because the receiver has to say, well, go attack me, right? So whether or not we have multiple selectable scripts, and whether or not we say, hey, do you have a selectable script that is, for example, are you selectable by attacking, or are you selectable by elsewhere? Well, I mean, everything that's selectable is attacking, right? We would conclude that if everything's selectable by attacking, then that's easy. But how we, for example, if I attack a player, right, you go within attack range and you shoot them, right? If I select a tower, you go within attack range and shoot them. If I select a ward, you go within attack range and shoot them, or attack them, whatever, right? Same thing. So, but we still need to check whether or not they're selectable, and we still need to have a current object. So having the selectable script's almost useless, but it's almost in a way needed, if you get what I'm saying. It's needed since we don't really want to use tags, because tags are used for things like knowing whether you're an enemy or stuff like that. That's what tags are used for. And the fact that we're using also for selectable is a bit different. How do I want to approach this? So, we do want to have a public selectable, which is called the current selected, right? Here we want to have a public game object called the object, the selectable object, then have a internet, like, I can do it the easy way, but I just don't feel like using just a script like selectable. I feel it's a better way to do it. So we conclude that all scripts we could conclude whether or not they're the stat thing, and if their stat and their tag is not players or well, there's obviously ally, enemy. So if the stats does not equal null, so that means they have a HP, a health bar, something similar, or objects that can do something have a H bar, and right, that's and the hit.name.tag, oh, we gotta go transform.tag does not equal tag.ally. Oh, okay, ally. We do need a public game object called selected. There we go. So if I'm a bit slow or a bit doing things today, I'm quite sick actually. I'm going in for a operation tomorrow. I just need to get a few videos for that time. So sorry if I'm a bit slow, so sick or whatever. That's just how it's gonna work. So I can get videos out. This means the object is selectable. Then all you want to do is now you want to go current selected dot. We essentially just want to say you're not selected anymore. Then we do kind of need a selectable. I just want to do stats because like the fact is that when you select someone, right, there's like a little ring around them that turns red. Say they're selected. It's just a little thing, and whether or not that we have that under stats. So maybe we do something like, we'll just do like a thing like current selected dot get component stats dot deactivate not selected. Do you know what I'm saying? So maybe just include that into your scripts. I know that some people don't like to include the tags. It's very necessary to include the tags, obviously you have no clue what's going on. So that means that then if you want to, you can have a little ring or whatever, that's up to you. You can even have a whole new script, and if you had no script like selectable with that little ring thing, then you technically wouldn't need to do the whole stats equals null thing. To be honest, so that means that we're selectable, so that means our current selectable. Our current selected equals hit.gameObject.transform.gameObject. There we go. And then what we want to do is we want to seeker.start path of our current transform.position hit.point, right, on path complete. Now if they're moving, what we want to do is we actually constantly want to move towards them. So it's kind of a bit difficult in this because this is more like a fixed update thing, right? So a fixed update is almost like, well, if their position is not equal to the last thing, they kind of almost want to re-seek. So since we're constantly doing seeking, I felt there was a seeker moving targets. I thought there was something. Oh, I really thought there was something. I see. We may just, they're saying search every few seconds or search when it changes. I think that's best. So here, what we're going to do is we're going to start a path, and then what we're going to do is we can go if this path dot vector path of the path dot vector path dot length minus 1 does not equal our current selected dot transform dot position. So if the path does not equal the current transform dot position, then what we're going to do is now we're going to make sure that it now does, if you get what I'm saying. So if the vector path difference is yes, what? There you go, that's our point. There we go. Or the current selected does not equal null, and the vector distance, right, and then we go minus minus our get component of stats. Or we probably want to say this dot get component stats dot the final stats inspector of what's it called? We're just going to call attack range or if the distance between our current position and our oh no, we don't want to do that. Is greater than, if the current waypoint is greater than or equal to this, or the vector 3 distance, so we kind of want to copy this, is less than the is if all the distance between our position and the path dot waypoint the distance between our path and our last thing, so our path dot vector path dot count minus 1. So our last path, right? If our last, the difference is less than our this dot get component of stats dot inspector dot attack range, then return. There we go. That will work. So if the counter moved, essentially, then what we want to do is we want a core thing. But we could also do it every 0.5 seconds, right? Now that would, this is good in a way, because if we do have 0.5 seconds, the character's constantly moving, right? We could suspect that's right. It would be a bit more, but every 0.5 seconds, that's going to be quite inaccurate, actually, if you think about it. Since every 0.5 seconds, it's going to mean that your character, 0.5 seconds is really inaccurate, because if your character's constantly, if the enemy's constantly making new changes, your character may run into them, do stuff like that if you're really, really close. Meaning kiting is going to be quite difficult for the person chasing, because the kiting player is always going to be moving around very, very fast. The 0.5 second delay is going to be awful, so this is actually better. Then what you want to do is we want to seeker dot start path of transform dot position hit dot current selected dot transform dot position. I think. I don't know. Oh, it's a vector 3 dot position on path plate. There we go. Sweet. Looks great. Okay. So now what we want to do is... that should work pretty well, actually. Should be no problems with that. But the biggest problem here is if current selected it's not good now. There we go. Seeker start path, then we also want to go current selected equals now. Because you can make game objects equal now. Damn it. There we go. That should work perfectly. So what if we add another character in? This can be our enemy character, let's say, who doesn't have move to space. We'll see, doesn't move at all, just as a box collider.